Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI is a book by David Grann. Now, I didn't know much about this book, to be honest. I just Googled best true crime novels, and this one popped up, so I grabbed it on audiobook to listen to. It's divided into three sort of parts. The first part is basically who the Osage Natives were and how they became rich because of the land they had was full of oil, and they were able to make millions upon millions of dollars and become super wealthy back in the day. And then that sort of trickled down into their descendants who are now sitting on lots of land that's worth a lot of money. And basically, because of that, someone begins killing off the Osage Natives in very sinister ways, you know, from shooting them to poisoning. It was a very rural area. They didn't have a coroner, so there's a lot of there's a criminal conspiracy basically to kill the natives and take their land again. So basically the second part of the book is focusing on Hoover and the FBI and how they have to stop and kind of investigate and find out who's responsible for the murders. The second part of the book is the most interesting, narrated by Will Patton. It sort of explores how basically we're following Agent White, and he's basically like a cowboy who has to sort of investigate and kind of figure it out, you know, what's going on. And they explore a little bit of Hoover and his personality and things like that. It's the most interesting part of the book. The third part of the book is a reporter basically talking about the aftermath, about other Osage natives who got killed but were never sort of explored or investigated because everyone was doing it. There was just so many opportunists that were trying to get in there. It basically is a really interesting view on racism, especially, you know, people would talk about trying to get yourself a rich squaw wife and then you poison them and then you inherit their land. Or a lot of them had wards and then they killed their wards so they could take their land. And then, you know, we're talking millions upon millions of dollars worth of property and oil. So people would do anything to take, you know, anything back in the 20s. So it was a really interesting novel, but it was a little bit cold and dry. You know, I enjoyed it, but I didn't really, you know, it was really factual and just sort of said everything. It didn't really hook me emotionally or anything like that. I still finished it. It was an interesting read up to a certain point, but overall I give this book a middling score because it just you know, just kind of gave you the facts. It didn't give me anything too much. So I give Killers of the Flower Moon a 3 out of 5.